It's the only person below White Holiday in the Comicsgate phone book. It's my favorite failed clone of Peter Sametti. The YouTube WyzGyz. How you doing, Connie? Welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going? Am I the one frozen, or are you?
Frozen. Oh, jeez. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you. There's a little bit of lag, but I can hear you.
That was weird. Oh, man.
There we go.
It was
I was like, man, I really hope I'm not the one that's frozen right now. So
oh, man. Yeah, it's like, as powerful as it is, I think it's starting to get bogged down by the fact that I've got like 75 tabs open in one browser and 375 tabs in another. And I typically leave my system on most of the time. But once again, I don't know if anyone heard. Hello. Welcome to WyzGyz Entertainment. This is your host, Wyman. We are joined today by special guest, Michael Oden. How are you today?
We're doing well. How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you. So drop that link for this book here. So Matt Inui says, it looks like Venom crossed with Captain Universe.
Captain Universe? Not quite, no.
Welcome. The Frog G, welcome. Welcome, Matt Inui. Welcome, Frog G. The embrace inspired by dark stories like The Crow and Haunt comes the epic tale of justice. Awesome.
That would be us.
Thank you so much for dropping links, all. Hail. Welcome, Yotam Darkstar. How's it going?
I don't think I've met him before.
My computer's up too early. It needs coffee. Yeah, I'm drinking tea myself. Welcome, Bowsette. Waving. How's it going? All right. Man. Oh, jeez. Refresh my memory, if you would. Didn't we have you on previously for Elysian Fields, or am I just dreaming?
Nah, I don't think I got on for Elysian Fields, although that would have been cool.
Yeah, I was too late. Sometimes I mean, I've only been at Comicsgate for promotion for a year and 4 months. And it amazed me how many projects there were, how many didn't get funded, and how many creators there are now. It's like crazy. It just exploded. And I have trouble keeping up with all the up and coming creators. And in many cases, I even learn about creators after their project fully funded and got fulfilled and all that good stuff.
Yeah, and I mean that happens, man. Like there's so many projects that like literally I feel like I'm getting bombarded by like a million new awesome looking books a day. It's just like, oh my god, my wallet can't take this, guys.
Yeah,
down.
I'm basically at the point at which I need to seriously think about getting a second and third job to feed my habit of backing Indiegogo campaigns. Because it's just crazy. My goodness. But the more I work regular jobs, the less time I have to promote books.
Exactly.
It's a tug of war. I tell you. Since this is your very first time on the channel, would you do the honors and share your quote-unquote origin story. How did you grow up? What were you into? Toys, movies, video games, what have you, comics, and what were the major keystones in your life that led you down this road that eventually took you to creating and releasing your own crowdfunded books?
So that's a great question. Of course, I'm happy to do that. So when I was growing up, I always really liked a good story. I got really into mythology and everything at a young age because my dad, whenever he'd come home, my bedtime story was this beautifully illustrated version of the Iliad and the Odyssey. Whoa. And so that was really where my starting point was. And I had two older brothers in the middle of the 90s, so whenever they were tasked with like watching me and what have you, it would be like I'd be watching Spider-Man the animated series, X-Men the animated series, and then eventually I'd start pilfering through their comics, reading those. And really, comics are the modern form of that classic tradition of the stories of heroes and myth. And so I got really into that growing up, and it never really stopped. Then I'd say around 4 or 5 years ago, I was on a deployment, and we were deployed to nowhere exciting. We were in Qatar doing compound security, and so there was a lot of downtime to just do stuff. And so I got into writing pieces. I was writing for Movie Pilot at the time, and I started to get some recognition over there. And all of a sudden, I started really getting into the industry to of like writing reviews, analyses. I did a few exposés here and there, and then I've worked with a whole bunch of different companies. I worked, as I said, I started with Movie Pilot. I had 2 of my own professional industry related blogs where I did news stories. I did, I worked for Heroic Hollywood for 2 weeks, and we won't go into that. And then, I ended up, I still do freelance journalism over at Up Your Geek, which is where I've been for the last like year and a half, as far as just the journalistic side of things. So eventually it got to a point where, I've come home and, I've gotten this reputation of being pretty outspoken on my opinions and stuff. And so I would talk about like, how I would handle things in comics, things in films, like and all that stuff myself. And everyone was like, yeah, these all sound really cool. Why don't you do it? Why don't you do your own thing? And I was like, oh, well, it's not that simple. It's not that simple. But it really is. And so eventually it took me almost getting a professional gig to realize, man, I can do this. And so that's when I went and I started to write the script of Elysian Fields, which was this concept that I had always had ever since I was a kid, with this epic battle royale between mythic heroes. And I sent the script out to a few people I knew, and they were like, "This is solid. Like, this is really not like." And I made sure that they were like, when I say 10 people I knew, it was like 2 of them were friends that I knew would give me good criticism. 4 of them were, people that I had met and like barely knew. And then the other 4 were people that I was referred to by the people I barely knew. So I had a good spread of, all right, I've got the 2 people that I'm close to that I know won't BS me, but they're like my friends. And then again, kind of like spreading out from people that, even though even though I've either known them or what have you, I don't know them well enough to really gauge anything about them. So it was a good little test market, and everyone came back with pretty positive remarks. And so I started on the series, and then all of a sudden we crowdfunded the 0 issue, and we made almost 9K. We printed those books out, got them fulfilled, and so they went into the second part of Elysian Fields, and we crowdfunded that, and it funded, and the books are at the printer right now. So hopefully here within the next week, I'll have those books, and we'll start the fulfillment process for that. And so that's the whole deal. Is then we get to the Embrace, and 2020 was a rough year for a lot of us, and I went through my fair share of things, and had I not gone through what I went through in 2020, I don't think I would have been able to write the Embrace. And this project has honestly come together super quickly. Like when I say super quickly, I mean like I came up with the concept for the Embrace a month and a half ago, and I got a hold of I was asking some people about artists, and Manko Kumasabi recommended Dean James to me. And so I hit Dean up, and I told him what I was going for. And I was like, I really want to see this. Like, I'm having issues writing the script because I can't visualize the character.
So you need content.
And so I gave him what I was going for the series and everything like that. And then he came back with the concept, and it was like fireworks. And so within 2 weeks, I had the script fully done. I got a hold of I hit up Manko Kumasabi to edit it, and Dean, the feedback on the script from both him and Dean was really good. So then we put up stuff, we started promoting it, we got the Barton brothers to do a variant cover for us, and then all of a sudden everybody's talking about our project. Doing like fan art and stuff. And so now Dean and I are like, oh man, this is really cool, but like we really have to, this needs to be like the best damn book ever, because we are getting so much publicity. Like literally our book has maintained within the top 5 trending pre-launch campaigns for the past week.
Oh my gosh, that's stellar.
We're closing in on 150 signups, and we've only been open for like 2-3 weeks.
Nice.
It's pretty incredible, but it's also like nerve-wracking. And I are like, oh, okay. Like this is awesome, but like what have we done? So we're really excited to get it out there. I think that we do have a product that is going to blow people away. I think that this first issue is going to be an emotional ride. People are going to the first act is going to really tear people apart, and then emotionally, and then the rest of the book is going to kind of be building it back up. As this while this is a dark tale, at the end of the day, part of this superhero is this guy's deceased kid, and David maintains that innocence of being a child and everything like that, and so he brings a nice balance of levity and light to the series, and he's a really fun character. He's the pure character, and I did an interview with Jam here a few days ago, and he got it posted up yesterday, and like he was asking about like the dynamic of the son and how important that is, and I said that at the end of the day, Clarence is our protagonist, but David is the soul of this story. David is the hero. At the end of the day, Clarence is going to be I wouldn't even say redeemed, but he the whole point is that David has come to save his dad and help his dad get closure and move on with his life effectively, and heal a lot of the pain. So that's one of those big things. I really wanted to be is like one of the big underlying themes is that our kids are the best parts of us, and David is a representation of that at his very core.
Pretty awesome. This is in reference to earlier when you said you started on the Iliad and Odyssey.
Yeah, I saw everyone was like, damn good books, good stories to start on. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Comment that
you should, Frog G. You should read those again. They're classics for a reason. Everyone should go read the Iliad. I wouldn't call myself a Hollywood renegade. I wasn't like I didn't get like super high up or anything like that. I did one like I've done a few pieces that have gotten a lot of attention on Movie Pilot. I did a review for Superman Rebirth issue 2 that like went viral. By the time I left Movie Pilot and by the time they shut down, that piece had gotten around 5,000 reads. Like that one blew up all over the place, and it was the big thing that kind of brought me in because, you know, Movie Pilot. So I was on their independent creators program, effectively the people that just wrote and posted stuff, and they were so impressed with it they posted it up on their Facebook page and brought me into their verified creator program.
Oh wow.
So yeah.
Why did Movie Pilot close down? Out of curiosity.
They got bought.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like I left prior to that. I was going like in order to become a verified creator, you have to go through one of their their course on it, and I got to like my final assignment, and I won't go. You know, fucking Movie Pilot's closed, so it's not like it matters. But like effectively, what they were trying to push me to do is write less pieces with substance and more quick, fast reads that get clicks.
Oh, okay.
So like that was my whole thing. Is like, you know, when I write for something like that, I'm writing because I have something to say. I'm not just going to do like a paragraph to summarize an event that has already been reported on a million times and has a catchy title to make it sound different than everyone else. Like I'm very much against the whole clickbait industry news that has become the core part of this industry, and it's something that really I have a lot of issues with. I don't like it, and so that was why I had left Movie Pilot, was because I had noticed that there were a bunch of other creators that had been verified when I hadn't, and so I was like, okay, let me go look at their pieces that got them the verified status, and they were all clickbait, and I was like, I'm not doing this bullshit.
Yeah, the problem with clickbait is there's very little substance to them. It's same old, just bland and generic.
Like, it's not even bland or generic. It's like you literally, some of these guys will have like a really gripping title that makes you want to go click it, and so you do, and then there's like maybe a paragraph of stuff in there.
Oh,
right?
yeah, very short.
Yeah, it's like, oh, cool. So glad that you literally just regurgitated what every other site has been saying for the past week and a half. Thank you so much. Thank you. You're great. Or in like Heroic Hollywood, I freaking hate. I hated my time at Heroic Hollywood a lot, but I don't think I could have hated them more than when I left Heroic Hollywood and I started because I had been behind the scenes on that and I knew how they operated, seeing them constantly push that. Like, I freaking hate the fact that they're constantly putting stuff out there where it's like, first look at so-and-so in this film, and it's all fucking fan art. It's all fan art. It's garbage. And like most of it's not even good fan art. It's like somebody did like a really quick Photoshop and placed like whatever actor's name they're trying to put on a fucking comic book costume. It's just like, you guys suck. Like
oh man.
I really between that and like there was an article that they did at one point where like literally they posted up a story. I can't even remember what it was, but I went on like 6 tirades about it in the span of a week, because you would open this article and it literally was 2 sentences. It was 2 sentences, and then the summary of the movie that it was about, and that was it.
Dang! Wow.
And in fact, like the 2 sentences,
dude, hold on.
it was 2 sentences, and then the summary of the movie that it was about, and that was it. Where's that coming from?
Dang. Hold on. Wow. How is that happening?
And in fact, like, do you have the YouTube open?
Hold on. It's Inception. How weird. I only had like...
What? WyzGyz having all the tech issues this morning.
All right, now we're in business.
Okay. But so like it had like 2 sentences, and one of the sentences was the title of the article.
Yeah,
I was just like, are you guys freaking... It was about the Flash cameo. It was about the Ezra Miller Flash cameo that happened in Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Okay.
They literally wrote, they had the title of the piece and then just said that Ezra Miller was in the Flash episode. Then they had the synopsis of Crisis of Infinite Earths, where to watch it, and then it was over. That was it. That was the entire piece. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
That's it.
Oh,
really? Oh my gosh.
I despise Heroic.
Oh man.
What a trash bin of an industry journalist. No integrity. But anyways, moving on from that. But yeah, so that's effectively like my origin. As I said, like I got into the industry, the periphery of the industry by writing, reviews, exposés, breakdowns, analyses on comics, comic book films, a few video games, but like, that like it all just stems from this childhood love of stories about heroes and myths and stuff like that. And,
so you did a lot of reading of comics and maybe even novels as well, and that helped develop your skill at storytelling.
Yeah, I think I've always, like, without sounding like that pretentious guy, I was always great. No, I think I've always had an affinity for storytelling. When I was a kid, I would make up stories all the time about things. And it was really funny because one of my childhood friends while we were growing up was like, yeah, man, I learned really quickly to like take everything you said with a grain of salt, because like you would tell me all these outlandish things. I'd be like, oh, that's so cool. And then I'd ask my parents about how that works, and they'd be like, that's not possible. And so like I always had this like kind of affinity for it. But that was the whole thing. Is like I've always loved stories. I've always loved mythology, comics, history. Like those are the things that I really was engrossed in growing up. Yeah, like that's where it all comes from. Is just this absolute love of this archetype of storytelling. These grandiose actions of heroes, and giving people constellations to reach for through storytelling.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I think this is in reference to your focus group on your books. I'll feed you bullshit, but I'll still be your friend. When it comes to do you have the really good friends who are willing to give it a critical look and not sugarcoat it?
I have 2 people that I can guarantee that if I send them something, they're the same 2 people that I used for that Elysian Fields. Like I have 2 people that like I know because they've done it to me before. Where like they will not hesitate to frickin' tear it apart. And so when they told me, I was like, yeah, this is solid. I think the only thing that I got that was like, this is good, but like when he read the script, is like, it doesn't seem like there was that much dialogue here, and you're gonna need like an artist that will really make this pop, because if you don't have the right artist, this thing will not do well.
Is it one of those things that where you ended up adding more dialogue, or did you convey the story and message through the art?
So I think it was a bit of both. I didn't really add too much dialogue, but I do think one of the things that he missed was that there is a solid amount of narration.
No, okay.
In the Zero issue, because it was all set. It's all setting the stage for the series.
Yeah.
But I went back and like I would add some little bits of dialogue here or there, and then obviously, what I didn't necessarily have in this in that initial script that did appear in the actual thing, were like sound effects, stuff like that, and that was all part of the lettering process. I went and made like a lettering script that as I said, I did add pieces of dialogue here or there, but nothing exorbitant. So.
Oh, by the way, welcome, Michael T. Excuse me, catching up on chat here. Hail, refugees of Finatra and Jason Black. Oh yeah, the success of your books and excuse me, and the interest being generated quickly for this new title.
It's definitely one of those. Yeah, no pressure. You got this, right? I really hope so.
Speaking of which,
I mean, at the very least, the art in this book is going to be gorgeous, and we have like a whole bunch of really cool, like the Jim. We revealed that Jim O'Reilly pinup here yesterday. That is like the pre-launch thing, where if you sign up for the pre-launch page, you get that for free when you purchase the book. So that has been going like all over the place. I think like I posted it, and then this post has been shared and liked. So 23 retweets and 56 likes within a day.
Nice. That's good. Congrats on that.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty big thing. So to have, so definitely you should. Oh my goodness! Buy this book, Super Feet of Ghosts.
It's Oden, right? Oden.
It is, but this whole Ogden thing has turned into like a big joke, because freaking Mo Biggs does it all the time too.
Are you now a meme that has gone viral?
I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure that there's something somewhere about it.
Buy this book. It's a super suit made of ghosts. Frog, link that shit. Hey, Michael T, you're a mod. You can link it too. The Embrace, inspired by dark stories like The Crow and Haunt. Thanks for dropping the links, guys. Appreciate you, mods. Duck, yeah, that's the hardest linking. Frog and CG, folks. Ducking right. All right, me babbers. Welcome, Bristolian Dave. Oops. Screen's jumping all over. Ba-dum, boom, boom, ba-dum, ba-dum. All right, here we are. Blush. Welcome, Max Works. How's it going? Welcome, Balzette. Dave, taking time away from tea and crumpets for us wayward colonists. He's in CG UK, if you didn't know. You got out before you got corrupted. Lots of hellos. Cricket Bay 2. Cricket Bay 2. Cricket Bay 2. Glad you wrote it that way. Wyman could read it. Oh, man. Cricket Bay 2. Where was that said? Cricket Bay 2. Cricket Bay 2. Was that mentioned previously? If it was, I missed it.
Which one?
Something that said, excuse me, Cricket Bay 2. Do you know the reference?
No.
All right, neither. They'll probably explain it. They'll probably explain later. Gripping title, zero substance. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Articles.
Yeah, they're awful.
They all copy paste from Kotaku. Much loop, so echo. Yep. Yeah, I know. Oh man. I think it's all because I have too many darn tabs open at once. Excuse me. Ogden, it's not tech issues. We're just dumb. Everyone's pointing to that. Where's Dean? You have school today? Michael asking the tough questions. Next week, Michael starts at Fox News.
Oh God, no, not at all.
Tonight's top story: motherfucker's still motherfucking out there. Be good. Welcome, Peter Retro Palmiotti. Hello, all. Welcome. Oh, not my tablet. I can't. Oh, okay. All right. I hear you. Yeah,
and we just got another sign up. Thank you so much, Peter.
Yeah, thank you, Peter. Yeah, it's a pain in the rear trying to be a moderator when you're on a mobile device. I tried to
Oh man, I am so sorry. That is awful.
I try to do it from a phone quite frequently, and it's, oh man, so aggravating. Let's see. Yeah, I thought I put down my cup and joined you. Dave, technically I'm one of the savages, but pip anyway. More 11. Cricket Bay 2. Oh, okay. Clickbait with Asian accent. Oh, Bells, that's on the phone. All right. Right on. Did I hear you right that your this title, this book, The Embrace, you completed this entire story in like you completed writing the entire story in like a month and a half?
Yeah.
Wow. Was it one of those things where you were literally just inspired one day and you furiously took it down, or you locked yourself in a cabin in a forest and with peace and quiet, serenity, and you hammered it out until you were satisfied it was done?
So for like the past, to go into a little bit of my personal situation without like divulging too much, but for like the past year, you know, my wife and I, we went through separation, and then we were trying to work things out. It didn't work.
I'm sorry.
And so we're going through a divorce, and we have an almost 3-year-old son. And so the embrace, I'd say like the concept came to me really quickly. It was a not especially good day for me. Like I had just dropped James off, and you know, like every single time that I do that, it's like your heart gets ripped out. And you know, I had a conversation with my ex that just kind of triggered some stuff. So I came up with the concept, and that was the whole thing. It was like I had this. I knew that it was a great concept, because it was something that was like, oh, if I saw this kind of synopsis, I totally want to read this book. And so I started like shopping it out to a few people that I knew in the industry. I was like, do you know any artists that might be able to do this? Like because every single time I'd go to write a script, I wouldn't be like, I couldn't get words down. Nothing felt right. And so I talked to a few people, and they said they'd get back to me, and Kimasabi recommended me 2 artists. And so I hit up one of them because I knew them a little bit, which is Dean James, and I just told him what I was looking to do, and we went back and forth about it, and then he came back with the design. And that's when I just, when James isn't here, I have a lot more time, obviously, to just focus. And so I sat down and I started the script, and it came out. Like the script for this came out, and I think I had it finished within 2 weeks. Writing a script can either be a very long process, like I've been working on the Elysian Fields the 3rd book script for months, or it can be super quick. Like, it just all depends. So like this one, the script came together like really fast, because I was in, like, I had that, like, I had all this negative emotion to draw from and put on a page. And then I got that script finished, and I sent it to Dean, and like Dean read it, and he was like, this is incredible. Like, this is the kind of book that I've always wanted to draw. And then I brought in a few people to take a look at it. And then I had Manko Kimasabi. I had him. I had him come on as our editor, and like he read it and was like, "There's definitely some tweaks you need to make, but this has the potential to be awesome." Like one of the big things that he had mentioned was like, as a father myself, he was like, you really convey Clarence's, the main character is named Clarence Griffin. It's like, you really convey Clarence's sense of loss in such an authentic way. Like, I apparently almost brought him to tears at one point in the book. So like that was the whole thing, is like, we went through, we did our edits on the script, and we had the script finalized, I'd say within a week of that. Like, we went through, we made our edits and everything. And so the main story is 35 pages, and then it has a 4-page epilogue to set up the next book.
Cool. You mentioned that you kind of knew Dean, and that's one of the reasons you approached him. Was he involved in the Elysian Fields book?
No, I had seen him in the chat a whole bunch, and we followed each other and had a few conversations about stuff. And so I knew him, and he seemed like a really cool guy. And so when Kimasabi recommended him, I was like, okay. I talked to him, and then he gave me the pencils back, and I was like, do you want to do the book? And he says, do I ever? And so that it was that easy.
That's nice. Excuse me. Damn, he sailed through writing that story. Have to have worn the letters off his keyboard.
Yeah. No, it's a new laptop, so it was able to handle that.
Excuse me. When the story just flows out of you, you have something special. Facts. Welcome, Nefarious. Hail, chat.
Hail, Nefarious. But yeah, no, and Yeah, it's I do think that people are going to have a really great time with this book. As I said, it's going to be a bit of an emotional thrill ride. Well, I wouldn't say emotional thrill ride. It is definitely an emotional piece. I'd say that for the energy of the first act of the book is very somber, but then it kind of builds, and you know, David brings a lot of like David, even as a ghost of this kid that's been taken from the world too way too soon. He's this light of optimism, and he's fun, and you know, everything about his intention of coming back is to be there for his dad and to try and help him heal. And we end the book on a pretty the main story kind of ends on a very like positive note to keep to you know, it's kind of this like bittersweet thing, and then we set up the next book by, well, you'll have to read.
Absolutely. Definitely different. And I like the father-son dynamic. I don't think there's enough of that kind of stuff out there in the market.
Yeah, and you know, I wanted to kind of turn that dynamic on its head, because like most of the time, if you have something like this, it would be like that the father comes back to protect the son and everything like that. But I wanted to reverse that. I wanted it to be that, you know, the kid is the one saving the dad. It's the like Clarence is in a very bad spot. Like in fact, so like and this isn't a spoiler because it's in our synopsis. So the police aren't have closed the cases as cold. Like they don't have evidence, and so Clarence in our book is on his way to effectively take his own life. And the ghost of David stops him from doing this. Like he comes back, and it's just a reminder of, you know, at the end of the day, you're all like, he's always going to be David's dad, and you're not going to want your kid to see you like this. And so like when you see your kid's ghost coming in front of you and is asking you if you were about to hurt yourself, that was a like a very big and emotional thing. And so like Clarence is our protagonist. Clarence is the person that we see the lens of this narrative through, but David is the hero, and eventually Clarence will rise and become a heroic figure throughout the series, but it'll be as a result of being saved by his son. And so by the end of the book, by the end of the series, because this is the beginning of the series, my hope is to have that kind of dynamic reverse where Dave gets a chance to be the hero to his kid and save his son. So that like that's what we've been going for and everything. And I think that we, based off of the impressions that we got from people about the script, I think that we've handled it really well.
Nice. Welcome, Mario Blackness. The Embrace is one of the strangest yet awesome looking characters I've seen lately.
Yeah. I really want, like, I wanted his costume to kind of feel like a bit creepy, but also like the whole process of them coming together is they hug, and then David turns into the suit. The white star on his chest is effectively like the suit's core, and that's where David's soul is. So like I wanted it to kind of feel like, I wanted the hands to be like a big thing, because that's like it, like the suit is effectively made up of like instead of like the tendrils and everything that you see in a symbiote, like
Right.
it's that, except they're like little hands, and so they like envelop over his body and everything. So I wanted that imagery of like he is being hugged, he's being held tight by his son, he's being protected by his son. And so the hands, they had to be smaller, like that was all intentional. And one of the things that I had showed Dean as a partial influence is, if anyone's played Dark Souls, there's a character called Lautrec who wears an armor set called the Armor of the Embraced. And it straight up, when you look at it, like you see like the arms are crossed around it, like somebody's giving him a hug. And so like that was the thing, was like I like made like that played a big part, and Dean crushed it with that design. It's something that's very unique, and it's catching a lot of people's eyes, and it's definitely like a play back to those really big books in the 90s, like Spawn, The Darkness, Venom, Symbiote, Spider-Man, all of that stuff. So like it's something that I think plays on that 90s nostalgia in the right way, whilst also establishing itself as its own thing.
Right. Absolutely. Speaking of which, it's those tiny hands. Oh God, the tiny hands.
Yeah, they're there for sure.
Nefarious says, drop that link for me, boys and girls. Peter says, it sounds interesting. Any book with a character named David has to be good.
I mean, fair enough for Stoli and Dave. So,
looks and
yeah,
sounds. Rescuing.
I had what was that?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I have so people can see this as a little bit of an extra incentive. So this is the Jim O'Reilly pinup that people will be getting for free. Yeah. So this is actually going to be colored as well. Jim O'Reilly's one of his friends that he works with on another book. He's a former Marvel, DC, and Image colorist, and he's worked on books like Spawn and everything like that. And so he's going to be going in and coloring this as well. So this finalized thing will be colored. So yeah, this is what you get for free just for signing up for the campaign.
Oh my gosh, that's cool.
Yeah. It'll like if you end up for whatever reason and you make a bad decision and don't sign up for the campaign, it will be available as a purchasable add-on. But for anyone that does sign up, it's going to be free. And this piece has so much emotion. And when I was talking to Jim initially, like my idea was to kind of you remember those like Spider-Man 3, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 3 posters where like he would be by the window and you see his like red suit and then the reflection would be black. I was like, I kind of want to do that, but like have it be like the embrace, and then in the reflection of the window see Clarence giving David like a piggyback ride or something like that to kind of evoke that kind of emotion. And then he was asking for like this character up here is Diablo, who is the leader of the gang that killed David. And Diablo is an interesting character. I won't go too much into that, but like he's obviously not really sound in mind. But the whole murder of David was a part of a gang initiation. Oh
dear.
So it's a very powerful and gripping story. Get it? Puns. But yeah, and you like at the very least, if our book does not live up, at the very least, people getting this free pinup. Not saying that our book won't live up, because the book looks fantastic. I've got a really great page of interior that we have that kind of showcases how the Embrace's power works, like how the suit works. And like this is Avery Ferdinand is our colorist, and Dean does the line art on this, and it looks fantastic.
Well, that pops.
Yeah, for sure. I can even zoom in on some stuff. So if you look real close, you can see, as I said, like the hands are coming out of his suit there. And they're going to grab this gun and bring it back to him, and he crushes it. And this guy very clearly wants to leave now.
Cool. Cool. Let's see here. Nefaria says, looks and sounds dope. Rescuing your father is a great classical trope that's part of the hero's journey. Smart. The embrace, a story of loss, fatherhood, and justice as a father is saved by the ghost of his son. Frog G comes up with such good taglines, and
that's actually mine.
Oh, okay, all right.
I think
you come up with.
I have a very similar one to that on the campaign. Frog G, you let me know if you came up with it. I don't want to take up. I don't want to take it if you did. But I have something that's like super similar to that on the campaign.
This sounds really good.
And I did. It does look very handy, Frog. And he approved of my my pun. So that all right, cool. I did. Frog G is saying that is my tagline. That's what I thought. I was like, I'm fairly certain, but I was like, all right, I'm not going to claim credit for this until I'm like 100% positive. It's one of those things. Yeah,
dropping those puns. I'm a huge fan of puns and dad jokes.
It's the lifeblood of what makes life great. It looks
it is. Costume looks cool. Sweet. The Darkness is an awesome game.
It was a comic first, but I do agree. The first Darkness game was really good. It has not aged well at all. It's downright unplayable now. But like it's very fun. It has a fantastic story and a beautiful soundtrack. And in fact, when I write, I create little playlists that I listen to get me in the mood of writing that specific thing. And one of the tracks that I have on that playlist for the Embrace is the Metro Station theme, the second one from The Darkness.
What style of game was it? Was it? It wasn't a side scroller, was it? It was.
No, it was an FPS. Like
really,
it was. Oh man, and even for back then, like its FPS mechanics were super rough, but like you could get through. One of the only it's really crazy because they came out with a second game for The Darkness that had awesome mechanics, and you were in the suit, which was like my big complaint about the first game was that Jackie Estacado wasn't in his iconic Darkness costume. So then in the second game, it's still an FPS, but you can see his like hands have like the Darkness suit on them and everything else. And if you like looked in a mirror, you would see him in the Darkness gear. And so I was like, man, if we could have the first Darkness game redone with the mechanics of the second and with the design aesthetic of the second, I'd be so down.
Nice. Holy crap, that looks dope.
I appreciate it, guys.
Sweet.
I got a shout out to Yotam Darkstar for having the shadow as his thing. Not enough love for Kent Allard and Lamont Cranston. So good stuff, man.
That looks good. That was a great pinup. Looks like Dracula in the back.
It's really funny because freaking that officer at one point says the department doesn't pay me enough to handle your Dracula looking ass.
That was a good line. I approve of that pun, Oden. But that's Oden's tagline. All right. Yeah. It's a bit further down on the sign-up sheet. Welcome, Ross. How's it going? Ross Bamfield. Hey, all. First-person shooter. One of the few I liked, especially the tentacles part.
Yeah, no, like all those mechanics really cool. Summoning the Darklings was really fun. The only thing that they did in the Darkness 2 from power carryovers from the Darkness 1 that made me really angry though was they nerfed the black hole ability. Like you spend the entire game and the first Darkness, like that is like the final big power up that you have, and it's like ridiculously overpowered because you're summoning a black hole in the middle of the game, and so like all the enemies get sucked towards it and just destroys their health. But then in the second game, you get the black hole ability, and it does like no damage to anyone. It's just like a stun thing to like creates like an area of effect stun that pulls everyone together. So then you go and you kill them close up. And I was like, that's disappointing. Like like it is the last ability you unlock in the darkness through one of the most difficult boss fights of the freaking game. And so for it to go from this thing that was like ridiculously overpowered and makes you feel like god tier to it kind of being a joke in the second game, I was like, you guys are dick.
Yeah, that's definitely scaling it back from being OP'd. Wow. That sounds like a hell of an ability. I never played that game. I played a bunch of first-person shooters though.
It was a really fun game, but as I said, like if you went, like it was for the Xbox 360 and the PS3, and it was like early on those consoles. So like if you went back to play it now, it's bad. Like it really has not aged well. Like I don't really like FPSs, but like the Darkness was you could deal with it when it first came out because it was like, okay, the story here is incredible, but like even with the great story, going back and playing the Darkness one, it's like, ooh, why did you choose that? Why did you make that decision?
Was it because of the story alone that drew you into even playing it in the first place? Since it was
I loved the Darkness comic by Mark Silvestri. And so when they said that they were doing a game, I was like, oh, yes. And so then I played the game, and the story writing in it was phenomenal. The soundtrack is really good and atmospheric. The game design, there are these World War I hellscapes that you go to in the first game that are like really, really cool. The voice acting of the game is very high quality. Like the only thing that game didn't have going for it was the mechanics. I feel like they tried to make it like like a pseudo open world FPS. It was very easy to get lost, even though you're in New York City and there's traffic signs everywhere, and you're trying to get to all these different locations. Like it's definitely got some charm in it from a nostalgia factor, because of all the things that it did right. But like it is downright unplayable at this point. I think at least for me personally, I would be able to go back and be like, yeah, let's play the Darkness.
The Mark Silvestri is pretty dang cool a person.
Yeah.
Would you have any idea as to how much involvement he had with that product, that game?
I don't. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he helped write the script. I mean, and I can look that up here really quickly.
Balzette says, yes, starting this reboot.
Yeah.
Balzette still has an Xbox copy. Wow. Balzette says, it went from overpowered to a fart in a whirlwind. The voice too.
And I mean, it got decent reviews. Writers, yeah. So he didn't have that much to do with it from the looks of it. The writers of the games are Paul Jenkins and Mikhail Saker.
Okay.
But Paul Jenkins has written a good deal of stuff that's really solid, and he did a tremendous, like, the story on that game is really good. And I didn't know Nefarious is saying that the current run of Darkness is actually pretty good. I thought that they killed off Jackie Estacado. That was the last thing I heard, was like a few years ago Witchblade like permadeathed him.
Oh wow. Yeah, I have no clue. I haven't kept up with that.
I just remember it happening and it blowing up across my social media. Is like, God damn it, we're doing Jackie Estacado dirty again. I like Witchblade, but I thought that Jackie was a much better character. I loved reading The Darkness. I had a good time reading Witchblade too, but like if you were like, you get to pick one Silvestri property, go. It would
Reboot. Okay.
Oh, so they rebooted it? That's awesome.
So we've got The Embrace. Inspired by dark stories like The Crow and Haunt comes this epic tale of justice. Check out the video.
Yep.
Short but sweet.
Yep. And Dean did a tremendous. Dean is used to do went to school for like animation and everything, so he put together that trailer. He did a tremendous job. It's really good.
Yeah, I like the music, and it actually tells some of the story, or it hints at it. And I like the lettering of The Embrace. Is that what the official logo is going to be?
That is the official logo. I designed it. Yeah, I think it turned out really well.
I like how the last E is backwards.
Yeah, so I wanted it to be that both of the E's are turning in towards each other, like they're hugging the rest of the logo.
Oh, good call. Good call. Peter says, it's still coming out? I was wondering what Top Cow was up to nowadays. Oh, okay. It's related to the reboot.
I know Witchblade is still going, but Nefarious is saying that he thinks that the current Darkness is actually just the old Darkness of the 25th anniversary release. And that is correct. Mark Silvestri did release re-release The Darkness as like a hardcover edition that you could get for like the first volume of it. And I purchased that, and he did a 25th anniversary special cover of issue 1 that you could get as an add-on. And so I did that and the main book. And so I'm very, very excited to get my copy because I believe it should be signed by Silvestri as well.
Oh, so is he doing all this through Indiegogo?
He did his through Kickstarter.
Oh, all right.
And if you go to that Kickstarter page, they actually have a way for you to go to like a special site and get like the hardcover collector thing, because they have a lot of them.
Okay, so that Kickstarter is closed now?
Yeah, it is. It did very well.
Oh, I bet. I'm just gonna see if I can find it real quick.
I might be able to.
The Complete Collection, Volume 1.
Yeah, that would be it.
Crowd Ox Pledge page.
That's where you go to get it now. Like you can still get it through there. Not to give Mark Silvestri some spotlight on our campaign, but like the Embrace does, as you can tell, there is some inspiration there from the darkness that's been pulled. Like if you look at our character design, and I can even pull that up so that people can see it.
Yeah, so in case anyone's interested in checking out or picking up Silvestri's book as well. The whole one. Hopefully it covered the whole thing. Excuse me. Ross says, looks awesome. Love the darkness. Just signed up. Bowsette just signed up also. And says, sick logo. That font is epic.
Yeah, no, it was a really good find. I was looking for something that had like a kind of spooky, eerie theme, feel, had kind of a similar lettering style as the darkness and stuff like that. The darkness logo is awesome. And so, yeah.
Okay, you just read that one.
Yeah.
Pretty much just a reprint. Got the floppy off the rack, legit stocked on the shelf by my local comic shop.
Good stuff.
Whatever. Why said, oh shit. Why so? That might be fake news.
It
I might be
at the end of the day, like CG, not CG. Like to me, it's like we're all indie comics and we're all doing stuff. So long as no one's being a dick to one another, I don't really care about CG or not. I am here to make comic books. I want good comic books out there. And Froggy says the Embrace did it better. I'm not sure. Let's hold our horses, okay? The book's not even freaking out yet. Like I really hope that people love the Embrace. I think that they will, but I am not going to be like, oh, my book's better than the darkness. I don't have a career suicide wish. So like yeah, no, I'm not claiming that. If other people say that, that's awesome, and I will be quoting you on our next issue. It'll be all over our promotional material. But I am never going to personally claim to be better than somebody whose comics sold like hundreds of thousands of copies and created a fan base that's lasted over 30 years. So like, I mean, just putting that out there.
Hail everyone. Welcome Kino Subway. Again, no pressure. Indies rule.
Correct.
Fuck the clicks. Said it before. Be an adult and go get your damn money.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
So this is our character design for the Embrace, and so as you can see, there's definitely like a little bit of the darkness in there. Like we have the little fins down here, and his face kind of feels like an amalgamation of the Crow, Spawn, darkness. Like there's a bit of all of that. We've also got like, oh, this guy looks like Soul Reaver, which he does a little. And then there's Clarence over here. So yeah.
So if he's fighting a battle and the enemy pulls a clump of his hair out, will it grow back quickly?
Nobody touches the hair. Okay, they don't like them. That's what the hands are there for. They stop that sort of thing. There's no way. No touching the magnificent mane. Okay.
That's true.
It has to be there.
Stand apart from the mainstream altogether. If it organically grows a major following, it still started that way.
Correct.
That's pretty cool. Nice.
But yeah. And so, you know, you sign up, you get that Jim O'Reilly pinup. You also, I send out weekly newsletters for the Embrace where you guys get to see kind of behind the scenes stuff. We have a fan art competition going on where the top 3 submissions will be featured in the book in an art gallery alongside a piece that was done by Booty Juice that he did, which was phenomenal.
Booty Juice.
It's a fantastic little pen name. But then the winner of it, the guy that gets like the top piece, that piece will be a free pinup for anyone that backs in the first 30 days. And it'll also be featured on the campaign.
Nice. Yeah. For anyone interested, send your submissions to him for the fan art.
Yeah. So the way that you do that, and I can actually pull that thing up.
Oh, cool. Right.
I made a little promo for it.
Oh, nice. Nefarious says, I just think that Suit is the soul of my son is just a badass concept. I have to agree there.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Ask Peter Miotti. Nobody touches the hero's hair, bro.
Yeah, exactly. How are you going to do that?
Take it easy, Frog G. Appreciate your being here. You need to hop off. You guys take care. Sign up for the Embrace. Absolutely. Really? Where and when and what's the deadline?
So this is the thing, and there's that Booty Juice piece, freaking awesome.
Oh wow!
And so we talked about how, you know, we got a lot of really great fan art so far, and so the way that it works is you sign up for the mailing list, and so by providing proof that you've signed up, and then you tag us on Twitter or post it up to our Facebook with your piece with the hashtag #TheEmbraceFanArt. That's how you get submitted. The fan art competition is going on through February 15th. We've had 3 or 4 submissions so far. Really, really cool stuff coming in. And you know, you can, if you don't feel comfortable showcasing that you've gotten the mailing list, that you're on the mailing list or what have you, you can also DM me on Twitter or what have you. So long as you say hashtag the Embrace Fan Art. We had one person's like, "Hey, I don't want to post it public. Is it okay if I just send it to you here?" And that's fine. Like I'm not going to be a stickler about it. So long as you guys put it out there. So long as we're able to like share it here once we decide on the winners. And the other big thing is that every single person that submits a piece, I'm going to be giving like a shout out in the book as well to thank them. So like everybody gets a chance. And if we have like under like 10 people in the competition, or if we have just a little bit over, I might even just have a whole thing where they might not like take up the whole page like the winning fan art pieces do, but I might just like create like a little listing like, hey, shout out to this person for this as like an honorable mention page.
Cool. Very cool. Welcome, David Speed. How's it going? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon indeed. It's not even noon yet. It's 11:17. David, are you in the UK? Even still, it would be like the evening time for you. It'd be like 5 p.m., wouldn't it?
Frog G just said hop off. Later, Frog, hop off. Wow. Parting pun. I wouldn't be interested at all.
That's because Max Works is actively one of the people competing.
Mr. Feed. Let's see. Hello. Oh, cool. All right, I'll put my pony in the race.
Outstanding. I'm looking forward to seeing it. But it's been so cool to see all these fan art pieces, and there's some stiff competition. I'll tell you that right now. There have been some really, really cool pieces. You're in Switzerland. Okay, fantastic. Well, thank you for tuning in from from Europe, the continent.
And Max Works is from Germany. 5 p.m. Sweet. Fantastic.
Yes. And I know Max Works is from Germany. So
I can still wait.
anyways, so if you're looking at the campaign thing, we also as an early bird special for the Embrace, we are doing a remastered edition of the Elysian Fields Zero issue. And so effectively, when we did the Zero issue, we got there were some people that did reviews, but we got a lot of really good feedback. And I don't even just mean like good as in, oh, they liked the book. I mean, good as in they told us things that we could improve. They gave us notes, everything like that. And so based off of all those reviews, we wanted to showcase the direction Elysian Fields will be taking from here on by putting out putting out a project where, we showcase we're bringing in a new colorist. We're going to have Avery Ferdinand, who also is the colorist for the Embrace. He's going to be doing the colors on Elysian Fields now. Luke Stone lettered the Zero issue, but since he's become the editor-in-chief over at Terraform, he doesn't have the time to do lettering anymore, so we brought on SK. And so SK is going to be re-lettering the book as well. We got some notes on some lettering layouts from, I think it was Comics by Drew gave us some notes on that. And so the goal is to showcase that we are listening to every bit of feedback that we get and applying it.
Now, even though you got this feedback, are you in agreement with their comments, feedback?
I mean, at the end of the day, they're the consumer, right? So long as you don't just come at me and be like, well, your book sucks, and you don't give me anything that I can work with,
right?
I'm going to take it into account. If it's something that I feel like, all right, you have a very good point, then I'll apply it. And that's the other thing is that, like for instance, Inch High Comic Guy did a review of Elysian Fields, and he tore us apart on our colors. And I had had some people say like, the coloring's not bad, but I think you could do better. And so my whole thing is, if I have 10 people that say that have something as a common, consistent complaint, then it's something that I am going to listen to and use to better the product. So like we've had a few people mentioning the coloring. So I was like, okay, that's not that's something that we can do. And especially with the success that we've had with Elysian Fields, it's a no-brainer. We're going to do it. So Avery is a fantastic colorist with an immense amount of range. I mean, that cover piece right there that you see is fantastic, and it feels completely different tonally to the work that he's done on the Embrace. Outstanding range. These are really, really great talent. So it's one of those things where this was a no-brainer. It doesn't cost, like, the majority of the art's already done. So it's just a matter of having him go and recolor it.
Yeah, absolutely. Nefarious points out, at the end of the day, if it improves the overall product to the satisfaction of the author, it's invaluable. That's the stuff you pay editors for.
Yeah. And so like that's my whole thing, is that I think that we're going to really blow people away with that. And as I said, that I've had some people like, don't you think that this will ruffle the feathers of people that back the initial product? And my answer is no, because there are two big things. A, it showcases that I'm listening to those people, But B, I'm not launching an entire campaign for this. It's not like I'm going and I'm like, oh yeah, we're gonna crowdfund the Elysian Field Zero Redux. It's an add-on perk. That is an early bird special. You can only get this add-on perk for in the first 30 days. So once the first 30 days goes, this won't be available anymore. So it's like I might do like prints to take to shows and what have you, but like it's not something that I'm actively like asking money for. Again, it's you guys get a chance to see that I'm listening to you.
Yep.
You know,
and, as Nefarious mentions, your consumers give the feedback for free.
exactly.
Balzette says, if they just say your book sucks, they're not a consumer. They're an SJW, and we're never going to buy it in the first place.
Yeah, or if it or it's just, there are also people where it's like, this isn't my cup of tea. I didn't like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And granted, those people generally don't tell you, oh, this book sucks. They just say, this wasn't my ball game. And that's fine. Like at the end of the day, if it was not a story that interested you, I would rather you be honest with me about it anyway, because it means that, you're not like without sounding like a jerk or anything, but they're not my target demographic. So, and at least they gave it a try, and I appreciate that chance.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's the difference with mainstream. You give the constructive criticism and they take offense and double down on their shit Tumblr art and Tumblr-like stories.
100%. And in fact, this literally just happened to me today. Mitch Gerard shared some panels that he did with Tom King on a short story that they did together for this Batman Black and White. And I said, like, the art, I straight up said it, like, the art in here looks incredible, but the panel layout is not dynamic on those first 2 pages at all, and it's very boring. You have 9 panels of the same square style panel with all this really cool art in it. You should have split, like, I understand that this was likely a short story, but you could have split these 2 pages into 3 pages of 4 to 6 panels and make this far more drawn to the eye so that you have a page turn. Like where the reader wants to turn the page. As it stands, you just have 9 of the same panel across 2 pages. Like, that's wasteful.
Mm-hmm.
And then he commented back and was like, if you like, this story isn't dynamic. And I was like, okay. And 1, and then 2, if you don't like the 9-page layout, I highly don't recommend that you read Mr. Miracle. And I went, well, I read Mr. Miracle, and it wasn't my cup of tea. But all comic books should be dynamic. Like, that's it's a visual medium. You want people to turn to the next page because they're excited about turning the page, not because, well, I've started this story, I gotta finish it. No, and especially like this is your first 2 pages of your story. It should be a punch in the frickin' face. It's like, oh yeah, let's get into this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But like, this guy took it as a personal attack, and like I was even like, yeah, the art on this panel is the art on these pages looks fantastic. Oh my god. And he even replies, the idea that comics have to be anything is an absurd idea. But I'm just like, dude, it's a visual medium. You want your audience to want to read this. Like, hold on. I'm going to make sure that I don't have anyone like doxed or anything.
Right.
But I'll screen share this. So like, this is like the definition of constructive criticism. All right.
Is it safe to add?
Yeah.
Here?
Oh.
Oops. Oh.
Did I? Hold on. I don't know why that did that. Stop screen. Share screen.
Well,
there we go. All right. So here are these first 2 pages. All right. Really good art in them. But you've got 9 panels on both of these pages where they're the exact same style of panel. Mm-hmm. You have gorgeous art in them. But like, imagine if you had split both of these up and added a third page in between, so that you could have some dynamic paneling, because then you get to page 3 and 4, and it's like, that's dynamic. I'd want, like, if this was your first page, I'd be curious. I'd want to know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look at that. The art in here is great. And so then you get down to my whole thing, and it says, I think the art in these pages is incredible, but the panel layout in the first 2 pages feels so bland.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally 2 pages of 9 panels. I realized that this is likely a short story where you had probably 10 pages to work with, but these pages should have been split into 3, 4 to 6 panels each, conveying the same thing and with a more dynamic layout. Not trying to attack, just an observation. The art in this looks brilliant, and the presentation of that art should match its quality. And then look at this shit. It's not a dynamic story. So adding a bunch of frivolities distracts from the tone. You definitely shouldn't read Mr. Miracle if 2 consecutive pages of the 9-panel grid bother you. Okay, so here's the thing. You just told me not to read your fucking book. You stupid, stupid bastard.
Yeah. Oh, crap. Who was the other one who does that? Kelly Sue DeConnick?
All of them do that. If you don't like it, don't read it. Okay, cool. I'm not going to invest any more money in you, you stupid hack. But like even then, I was like, I have read Mr. Miracle, and it wasn't my cup of tea. Not trying to attack, just providing constructive critique. All comics should be dynamic. It's how you engage the reader to turn the page and continue the story. Anyways, congrats on the story, and the art does look great. And he just goes, the idea that all comics have to be anything is an absurd idea. You are in a visual, like, Mitch, you're a fucking artist, dude. You're in a visual medium.
Man.
You're in a visual medium. The whole point is to get the customer and to get the consumer engagement. When you are looking at this page, does it make you, if you look at this page and you open your book, this is the first page you see, will you want to turn to the next page? The answer to that question is no. People are going to do it because they spent $4.99 or however much they spent to get that book, and they're not going to let it go to waste.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But they're not doing it because they are intrigued by what you've put down on the paper. They're doing it because, well, I've made a financial obligation. I might as well ride this shit out. Yeah,
exactly. Exactly.
And that's not what you want. And if you were going to have dude, there are ways to do 9 panel pages and make them dynamic. Like you could do a whole thing where it's not even really, it feels more like a splash page, but you have a collection of panels surrounding it, like a splash collage, right? Where you have one central image and then you go around and use all these 8 or 7 or 8 panels to tell the story around the singular image in the center.
Mm-hmm.
And
number one, you've improved on that, yeah, for sure.
It's something that it's like, and Tom King does it all the time, and so for him to be it's like, oh well, if you don't like this, yeah, I realize that this is something that Tom King does all the time, and it's lazy and it's bad. It's bad. Nobody is over here clamoring that Heroes in Crisis is the greatest fucking story ever made. It's garbage. And part of that is the fact that it's so lazily planned out. It's not like the panels are not dynamic. It's the same panels being repeated over and over and over again. And that's not clever. It's not witty. It's a waste of page real estate.
Yeah.
You are actively shooting yourself on the foot.
Absolutely. Nefarious says, people do add-ons of previous material all the time. I actually value when they do it, especially if they crowdfund it, because I'd probably like to read it. Besides, all the tiers, goals, goodies come from the first. Yep.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself doing a redux of second issue of Elysian Fields?
So the plan is that once we do Pages of the Dead, which is the third book, we will do that concludes the entire first arc where they deal with the Team Osiris. And so what I'm going to do, the plan is that obviously, you know, if that's successful and we get enough money, I will have Avery go back and recolor the book. Doing the letters should be easy because it should be something that like SK could effectively just take the stuff over from when he did it on the first book on the first time and just place it. I don't think that I don't necessarily would necessarily cost me anything since he's effectively just re-lettering the same pages. It would just be, I'm going to take this and put it over here, take this, put it over there, and it should be fine. But so we will likely do like a collection book as a campaign to catch everybody up from 0 issue to Pages of the Dead. After we do Pages of the Dead, like our first like trade paper, and it'll be massive because we did a deluxe hardcover deluxe edition for Pyramid Gambit that collected the 0 issue and Pyramid Gambit, and at the end of that, that was 104 pages.
Ooh, cool.
So,
man, I missed out on that too. Shoot.
I mean, and we had the Kickstarter, which did which did a softbound version of that tier. Was the focus, and we were $90 off of funding.
Dang it! Oh man. So what happens on Kickstarter if you don't fund? Does
nothing? You don't get anything. You don't get nothing.
Does everything get auto refunded? Like if you don't?
They don't take the money out unless your campaign funds. So like the way that it works over Kickstarter is they don't take the money out until the final campaign day if you fund.
Oh, okay, all right. I thought they immediately bill you for the cost of the book and tier, and then they charge you for the shipping later.
No, that's there are some people that are doing that with like Backer Kit, where they'll have everything set up like that. But if you just use the basic Kickstarter, it works the same as like Indiegogo and everything, where like you just establish what your shipping rates are and everything like that, and it makes that your pledge amount, and then it doesn't take out that pledge amount until after the campaign wraps up.
Gotcha. All right. So let's see, campaign already went out. It's not like you're reselling the initial backer's expense at the initial backer's expense. Yeah, facepalm on puking tumbler. Each page should draw you in further and make you want to keep going. If you can't do that, they don't deserve the consumer's money.
100%, and that was I didn't really dox myself. That's my Twitter. Everybody knows about it. And so that's why I even made sure that, you know, like unless you're talking about my interaction with Mitch Strutt, I don't really care. At the end of the day, there will be some people that come after me. I don't pay attention to drama on that shit. I just promote my books. And at the end of the day, it's the internet. There are 1,000,001 things that go on all the time.
Yeah.
So like,
and you were giving constructive feedback. And I think that's valuable. The fact that they took it the wrong way is just crazy. Mitch Gerards is a twat, unfortunately. He talks shit all the time.
No, 100%. And like that was the whole thing. Because I knew I was probably going to get that, but I was like, this needs to be said. This book could be so much more with a better layout. And the fact that you'd hear, oh, your art looks fantastic and it should be on better display than this, and then throw a temper tantrum about it. It's just like, dude, come on. Really? Really? You're gonna make this into make it into seeming like I'm personally attacking you when I straight up say your art looks fantastic. It deserves to be on better display. But I'm the asshole.
Yeah.
Like if anything, you'd be like, yeah, you know, Tom wanted it done this way. I tried to dissuade him, but he said that this is what he wanted. Like, at the end of the day, you know, you're an employee and you're working for somebody.
Yeah.
You're following their direction. That is what it is. All I am saying is this looks boring. You
Right.
open this you open this story and you don't care until you get to the third page.
Yep.
Just like
Dave completely agrees with you. Art looks great, but it's an extremely boring layout. Yeah, it's like that. I think it was Tom King who did the 9 panels, and they were all of a guy's face, the same guy's face, and it was dialogue.
Or I think you're talking about that was Donnie Cates and King of Black with Eddie Rock.
Okay.
Where they,
you're right.
And the artist was like, we only have like 20 pages of art in a comic right now. Don't waste like 2.5 on them on the same fucking panel.
I know, they're such small books in today's standards. You don't have a whole lot of space to work with. Surprised Mitch didn't call you a racist Nazi. If I was him, I would be like, thanks for the feedback. Maybe you should try my Miracle Man book. It's called Customer Service, buddy. Hey, Wolverine.
Did Mitch Gerard do Miracle Man? I know that Tom King did, but hold on.
Not sure. So if comics don't have to be anything, then that forgives comics that aren't good?
Yes, Wolverine. That's exactly what you said.
At the end of the day, all artists and writers should want their audience to love what they've made. These lukewarm comics pros who don't care about their own books infuriate me. Yeah. Seriously. Tom Queen. Yeah, Tom Queen. They're saying if you don't like my art, writing, politics, don't buy my book, which proves they're neither a real writer or artist, and their politics probably suck too. Yeah.
And that's the thing is it's not like I said, it's not like I was even attacking his artwork. I was praising his artwork. I think Mitch Gerard has great art, and in fact, like, it kills me because the Batman Catwoman comic is so bad, and it sucks because they've brought Phantasm into the mainstream, which is something that I've wished for every day of my life since I saw Batman Masked Phantasm. And you know, they brought her in, and whenever Mitch draws the Phantasm, it's beautiful. You want to know how many times the Phantasm has shown up in Batman Catwoman? Twice. And then on top of that, all the panel layouts in that book suck.
Oh man, is that the one where Bruce is left at the altar and they're supposed to marry?
No, that was Batman issue 50. And Tom King deserves to be. I won't go into that. But like, Batman Catwoman was effectively like, Tom King was fired from Batman, and they, as a consolation prize, allowed him to do a Black Label miniseries following Batman Catwoman, and it was the first. It would establish Andrea Beaumont and the events of Mask of the Phantasm as canon.
Oh, okay, all right.
And it is one of the laziest written and poorly laid out comics. Like, it's very beautiful, the artwork, and it's actually some of Mitch Gerard's best work in my opinion, but it's sadly being directed by an asshat, so it's not good. Like, and even like the base premise of it, for at least like the current year story following the Phantasm, has a really cool premise, but it's written by quite possibly the most boring writer of the of the current comic book industry. Like, he and Bendis give each other runs for their money. Bendis, I think, is objectively worse, but like, Tom King can take a book that sounds like it's going to be action packed and turned it into the biggest snore fest on the face of the planet.
Oh man, That's unfortunate. Roy Thomas pointed out last night that Julie Schwartz and Mort Weisinger hated comics for themselves for working in comics. Oh, and themselves for working in comics. And they managed to put out good, solid comics for decades.
Yeah.
Wow. Buy my book, even if you hate everything about it. I need to feed my cats ASAP. Oh, man. Seriously.
Well, it's like you know what's funny is he's like, well, then you shouldn't read Mr. Miracle. Well, then why did you like it? It's almost like you were like, don't read it, but seriously read it, because if it was just like a blanket thing, you could have just been like, then don't read my books. But you specifically picked Mr. Miracle.
Tom King needs to stop being allowed to write characters that anyone gives a fuck about.
And you know what's crazy is that Tom King, Tom King wrote a comic called Superman Up in the Sky. And I don't like Tom King's writing that much. There are a few small stories that he has done for smaller characters that I think are really good. But when he wrote Superman Up in the Sky, I think he was put as like, all right, this is going to be primarily for a kid's audience. Don't pull any of your standard crap. Just make a standard by the numbers Superman comic. And Superman Up in the Sky is awesome. It's a great comic. You got Andy Kubert doing the art, so it looks really good. And since Tom King is very clearly in like a very strict, like squared out thing that he has to confine into, it's a basic premise that is so intrinsically true to Superman as a character that it's just a good read. It's a solid read. But like the moment that you give that man any creative license, it all becomes, how can I make every single one of these people be the most boringly depressed people that are the same kind of depressed. Like that was the thing that blew my mind in Heroes in Crisis is you have this actually like really intriguing concept of effectively a crisis center for superheroes. That people like it, like I've seen shit in my amount of years doing this.
Yeah, like
having a place where you can go talk about that is actually really cool. But then you read how King writes each of these characters, and they are all the same kind of sad and depressed. There is no differentiation between any of them. If you were to take away all of the art in Heroes in Crisis, and you can do this in the majority of King's books, if you were to take away all of the art, you would not be able to tell who the fuck was talking.
Yeah, that's a problem.
And
Bendis came out of the gates hard, but just played his one-hit wonder over and over until he got called out on it, then kept playing it again. Again. What's nice is Ogden's buttons have now been pushed, and we're seeing some passion here. I like it. Mitch already on that internet gas, may as well be on New Heroes.
It's New Warriors. You're right about that. It's all good.
Does Tom King still hate Asians?
I mean, he certainly doesn't like Jay Lee.
Oh, man. Seriously. Again, comics are supposed to be escapism, not remind us of how drab and shit-stained our world on every goddamn page. True.
Well, there is a place for comics that provide commentary on what happens around us. Like there is, and comics can be political, but those politics those things need to serve the purpose of the narrative, and it shouldn't be that the narrative is catering to the politics. The moment that it becomes that you're just using this as a soapbox, you're not creating art, you're creating propaganda. Alan Moore's Watchmen, V for Vendetta, all of those things are extremely political books. But what they do is they use Alan Moore's politics to create a conversation through his narrative structure. At no point do you see like Ozymandias go on like a 7-panel long diatribe where he's effectively talking to the audience, talking down to the audience about how corporate greed has destroyed the world. And so he's going to level the playing field because everyone everyone needs to rise up and kill the corporate overlords. Like at no point does he do that, because then Ozymandias would suck as a character.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that means that WyzGyz Entertainment is safe, as he is just a white supremacist now. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, that's how much I give a fuck about the new flatulence. He's also a misogynist. Yeah, Moore didn't write like Ayn Rand.
No, he did not.
Yeah, so this book is looking really good. Great art, and it sounds like you have an amazing story behind it to back it up. I'm also real excited about your releasing the Elysian Fields Redux, so that's cool.
I appreciate it.
I gotta get a hold of a copy of 1 and 2 since I missed out on the campaign. For anyone who hasn't yet, be sure and get in on the sign-up list, early sign-up. And I'd like to give the floor over to you. Please share with the world how you can be found on social media.
Hey guys, I'm Michael Oden. You can find me at @ElysianFields_0. And then you can find us on Facebook under 9 Realms Publishing. As we've got the Embrace going on. And as I said earlier, there is a fan art competition. Be sure that you check that out. We'd love to see what you guys bring to the table. There's been some phenomenal fan art that's been done so far. And the Embrace is a pretty fun character to draw. So hopefully we'll see you there. And hopefully you guys sign up for the mailing list and be checking your emails, if you do, for the newsletter of the Embrace. For
the fan art contest, you shared that image, that promo material. Did you? Is it like pinned to your Twitter, or?
It's on my Twitter, and you know what? What I'll do is I'll go and I'll pin that tweet right now so that it's right up,
right
front
on.
and center.
Right.
So that way people can see it. What we'll do is go.
Sweet.
And I've got to scroll down because I did a lot of promoting for that Kickstarter over the past few days.
Oh, gotcha. Dave says that's one thing these idiots don't get. Comics have always had politics in it, but they portrayed it in a balanced way and didn't preach at people to persuade them.
Yeah, it created a conversation so that people could make up their own opinions about stuff. It wasn't like wasn't like beating you over the head with a stick.
Yeah, kind of like Civil War, I guess. Captain America versus Iron Man. And
I mean, the first portion of that, I'd completely agree with you on, and then Tony just went full on supervillain about halfway through that book, and it became very clear where the writers stood on things. It started off as this kind of objective,
right, true,
about the Patriot Act, and then it turned into, yeah. Screw everyone. Captain America's right. Tony Stark's an evil villain. He tries to kill Spider-Man.
Oh, man.
He literally sends the Thunderbolts after Spider-Man, after having Peter reveal his identity to the world. Just a complete clone Thor who ends up killing somebody. Like, yeah, Tony went like full freaking supervillain in that book.
Not even just that, Michael, but that's also the definition of a hero, is to rise above and be better than normal people would be. That's why we looked up to them. Heroes are no longer that in Big Two.
And doing hero deconstruction isn't a bad thing, but there is a second part of that narrative where, as you said, the whole point is that heroes rise above. So if you deconstruct a hero, that needs to be the first portion of your arc, and the second part of that arc should be the reconstruction. They've been brought down to their lowest level. Now they need to redefine themselves and establish a new high level, a new high point.
Yeah, comics can have politics in, sure, but it shouldn't be political tracks. Totally. Cool. I think I'll throw my hat in the ring. Nice.
Outstanding.
Gotta jump to another stream. Have fun, guys. Take it easy, Balzette. Thanks for coming.
Good chatting about that. Thanks for stopping by.
Drop the link once more for anyone who might have missed it. Get in on the pre-launch, get a free pinup for signing up on the email list. Looks like you got some more people interested in both the book as well as participating in the fan art contest. So that's pretty exciting.
Outstanding. I'm really happy to hear it.
I'm looking forward to it, and I especially think that I'm particularly excited about the whole father-son dynamic, being a parent myself. So let's see here. I wanted to thank everyone in chat for joining us. You guys are so awesome, and thanks for dropping links, mods. Thanks to everyone who watches on replay, and thanks to our very special guest, Michael Oden.
Thanks for having me, man.
Please like, comment, subscribe, mark the bell for notifications, catch us on social media, and drop some comments down below. Let us know what you're most looking forward to on the Embrace. Let's close it up now. Take it easy, all. See you on the next stream.
Final guest that is the only person below White Holiday in the Comicsgate phone book. It's my favorite failed clone of Peter Sameti. The YouTube sensation. How you doing, Conrad? Welcome to the show.